Welcome to my KCSE revision channel, Marita James, Grigoris Boys High School, the Center of Excellence, the headquarter of chemistry in East and Central Africa. Today, we are looking at Form 3 work, Organic Chemistry 1, the preparation of ethyne. So the setup below was used to prepare ethyne gas. So we have water, then we have sand and solid E. Complete the diagram to show how the gas can be collected, identify solid E, write an equation to show how the gas is formed, then what is the role of sand in the experiment, and then what precaution should be taken when setting up the apparatus. This question is testing the laboratory preparation of ethyne gas. And in the laboratory preparation of ethyne gas is collected, the gas is collected over water, so it should be completed and then collected over water. So, and this is a completed diagram. That is a completed diagram of how the gas will be collected. So it should be, we have a sand and then we have solid E. The gas we have collected, the gas is collected over water. So completing the diagram, and then we'll show the property of that gas is collected over water. So completing this diagram will earn 3 marks. Identify solid E. So in the laboratory preparation of ethyne, is prepared from the reaction of water on calcium carbide. So the reagents that we can have here, we can have water and water on calcium carbide. So we have water on calcium carbide. So if you can have water and calcium carbide, so you can have the calcium carbide. So we have that calcium carbide. Then plus, of course, there is plus water here. So we have calcium carbide plus water. It could give us the calcium hydroxide. We have calcium hydroxide. Then plus ethyne, which is 2 carbon. And then we have 2 hydrogen. So identify solid E. So the identification of solid E is calcium carbide because the gas is prepared from the reaction of water on calcium carbide. So solid E is calcium carbide. Is calcium carbide. Then in this write an equation to show how the gas is formed. So the equation to show how the gas is formed, we have the calcium carbide. We have the calcium carbide. Then we have water on calcium carbide. So this one will gives us calcium hydroxide. Then plus the ethyne gas. That is how this is the equation of the reaction on the production of ethyne. Now, what is the role of sand in this experiment? You know, in this reaction, the reaction between water and calcium carbide is highly exothermic. So the reaction is exothermic. It's an exothermic reaction, so it is high exothermic. So if it is highly exothermic, a layer of sand should be put in the flask to absorb excess heat, in this preventing the flask from breaking. So the role of the sand in this experiment is to observe the excess heat produced during the reaction. So to absorb the excess heat produced during the reaction. And then prevents the flask from breaking, so we can say so as to prevent the flask from breaking from breaking. And then you remember, a copper 2 salivate is added in this case to catalyze the reaction, so it can be used as a catalyst. So we can have copper 2 salivate. The copper 2 salivate is added in this case to catalyze, is added to catalyze the reaction. So sometime you will be required to identify the catalyst, or to name the catalyst, and or what is the purpose of the copper salivate. So the copper salivate is used to catalyze the the reaction. Now, the flask in this case must be dry during the reaction. The flask must be dry before the start of the experiment. So the flask must be dry. This flask must be dry. Flask must be dry before the start of the experiment. Before the start of the experiment. Before the start of the experiment, to avoid formation of the gas before the setup. So what precaution should be taken when setting up the apparatus? What precaution? So the flask must be dry. The flask must be dry. So the precaution here, the flask must be dry. The flask must be dry. To avoid formation of ethyne gas, ethyne, before the setup is complete. Thank you kindly. Follow my channel, subscribe, click the notification bell. You get notified once I upload a new video.